So I wanted to talk about moving to Colorado. If you're thinking about moving to Colorado, there's a few things I think are really important that you should consider before you actually move. Um, the first one is cost of living. Cost of living is really high here. I've never lived anywhere where the cost of living has been this extreme, I guess. And it's like like a quick progression, So we moved here and we lived in Aurora. I want to say back 2013, 2013 and 14, and then we moved up north. And we lived in a one bedroom, one bath in Aurora. So not even Denver, but like little city, city on the outskirts of Denver. Anyway, for a one bedroom, we paid almost $1,000 a month, and we paid electricity, water, and gas on our own. And the only thing that was included, or it wasn't really included because we paid extra for it, was trash pickup. And it was just a valet service. They came once a week on Tuesdays, and they would not pick up anything that was outside of the trash can. Like if you had boxes or anything, they wouldn't pick it up. And even now, like moving up north from the Aurora area, we have a home, and we purchased our home at 230, and now we purchased our home in 2016, and now the cost of our home is, well, the model is 305. And that's just the basic model. There's like no bells, no whistles. And of course, if you get a new construction home, that's always offered. Like if you want a home with, like, I don't know, chrome molding, I don't know, something like that, then it's going to cost you extra, or granite countertops, it's going to be an extra charge. So the base price is $305,000, and I think that's crazy to go from 230 to 305. That's over what, 80,000. Well, no, I guess a price jump, and well, 75,000. That's a huge price jump in 3 years. I don't know. I've been looking at houses in other states, and I haven't seen a huge jump like that from year to year. But I don't really have much to compare it to, because when I lived in Virginia, because that's where I'm originally from, I lived in an apartment. So, I wouldn't worry about any of that stuff. And then I think another thing is like the homelessness. There's a lot of homeless people here. And when I first moved here with my husband, I was just kind of shocked coming to downtown Denver to City Park and seeing all of the homeless people. I mean, I know they have shelters and places that will help, but I don't think there's enough to assist with the population of homeless in this area. Even up north where we live now, there's still a lot of homeless. I could go to the Walmart right now and there'd be at least 2 or 3 homeless people trying to get change. So I think that's like, I mean, it's not a huge con, but that's something to be aware of. I guess when you come, like, you'll see them. I've never had a problem or anything like that, and if I have it, to give, you know. Um, then I would say next, job competition. The job competition here is it's pretty heavy. It's pretty difficult. Just because I think the increase in the population, and like for instance, one of the, I guess, popular or big hospitals here is UC Health, and they have a campus in Aurora. It's over 800 beds. And let's say they put out a job posting on LinkedIn or something like that. And if you have the premium package of LinkedIn, they will actually tell you how many people have applied, like, oh, it'll be the first 25 people to apply or whatever. And then I previously worked for them for a couple of years, and I know this like firsthand. I worked in medical records, and we would put out applications and we would get hundreds back, and getting hundreds of applications in, I guess it's good because you have variety, but then it's also time consuming. And I guess in that fact, because it takes a long time to hire someone. But just imagine it's one position and then there's like 250 other people up against you. Like, what's going to make you stand out, against those other people who have those basic skills that you do? And I think that's something that you have to keep in mind. If you're going to apply for a position or a job here, period, you should probably do it at least a month or two before you leave, because it takes a long time for them to hire or go through the applications, period. I don't think I've waited any time less than 2 months before I heard anything back from a hospital. That's if you're in the healthcare field. I don't really know how other sectors of employment work, because I've worked in healthcare the entire time I've been here in Colorado. So, I guess that's something to consider. And then you should also keep in mind, like when they have these bonuses attached, that's usually high turnover. And there's, I was always taught that if there's high turnover in the department and they're offering a financial incentive, there's something wrong with management. So I guess that's another thing to like keep in mind on the back burner. Another thing I would say is like food is expensive. The groceries, the meats, the vegetables, the fruit for sure. King Soopers is the sister store, the same chain. It's Kroger's on the East Coast. And like if I go into the store to buy a watermelon in the summertime or springtime, summertime, it'll be like $7. But over in Virginia, it's $3, and it's kind of crazy to me, like that big, like $4, jump in price from state to state. But I guess because they have to get the vegetables like that from a different state and bring it to Colorado, it's more expensive. Meat too is a lot more expensive. Ribs, beef, all that stuff's a lot more expensive here than it is over there. And it's kind of weird to me because there's a lot of cow farms, but I guess they're dairy farms because the milk's pretty cheap. So if you like cereal, you'll be set to go. Another one that's kind of weird to me is probably the DMV. It's not everywhere in Colorado, but for sure up here where I live in the northern area, there's 2 DMVs. The first DMV only does driver's license. You can only get your driver's license, take the test, and that's it there. And then across town, like 30 minutes across town, there's another DMV, and they do everything else. So because they do like the registration, tags, all reinstatement, all that stuff, it's so crowded there. It's always a long line. It's always a long wait. And it's just crazy. If I get there at 7 a.m. when they open, I still have to wait an hour and a half to be seen, or get what I need taken care of. And then I guess the last one would be childcare. So when I moved here, I didn't have kids, but living here, I had both my children here. And I must say childcare is crazy expensive here. When we were living in Denver, we went to check out some childcare places, and I think the cheapest place we could find was maybe $245 a week, and they wanted us to still provide diapers, wipes, and all this other stuff. And I understand you're coming to a facility, and a lot of them don't provide those things, but then to financially pay almost $600 in 2 weeks, that's crazy to me. I don't know how regular people who have normal paying jobs or even a living wage paying job, how are they able to afford $600 every two, you know what I mean? $1,200 a month for childcare. It's crazy. That's one whole paycheck. You might as well not work. And I think most of the people that I've met so far are like that. They're single income homes, not, or their spouse works part time or PRN, which is, you know, as on an as need basis, because it's so expensive to live here. The tax is not too bad. It's 8% to where I live. I don't know about down in Denver. I'm pretty sure it's much, much higher. And then you also have to pay, when I worked down in Denver, I paid a city tax, and that came out of my paycheck every 2 weeks when I worked at a hospital down in Denver. But I think that's everywhere. Every major city has a city tax that you have to pay, and that's just how that goes. And it's crowded. It is super crowded. I think that's it. I think that's like the only thing. Oh, and if you're planning on buying an apartment or a townhouse or whatever down in Denver, or a home period, be prepared to look at more than one house. I think we looked at probably over 10 homes, and we still, you know, kept getting bid out by cash buyers. I don't know how, you know, what's going on, but these people, I guess, sell their homes wherever they're coming from. I want to say California, and they sell their homes, they come here, and then they buy up apartments or townhomes or whatever with whatever revenue they got from their home. And you know, they just kind of buy up these extra apartments, they rent them out, and the rent's usually really, really expensive. So yeah, if you guys have any questions, let me know.